Take a look at new car sales at the moment and it's clear the market is gravitating towards three very distinct trends. We love SUVs, sports cars and luxury vehicles as well. So what happens when you blend those three different trends into one vehicle? You get something close to this, the Mercedes Benz GLC Coupe. The GLC Coupe is the latest sporty SUV out of Europe, taking on the BMW X4, Porsche Macan and Jaguar F-Pace. Sharing the same platform as the highly successful C-Class, it is also the sister car to the more conventional GLC SUV, but with a much stronger sporting flavour. Now both the C-Class and the GLC offer pretty mature driving dynamics, so it stands to reason that this GLC Coupe will be pretty competent out on the road. And it certainly has all the makings of a sporty SUV. It's longer than the regular GLC and many variants in Australia will come standard with adaptive dampers. The GLC Coupe is lower and wider than its donor car, fitted standard with sports steering, livelier stability control calibration, and in some cases, a throatier exhaust note. It will initially be paired with 3 engine choices when it reaches showrooms around November, 2 4-cylinder diesels and 1 4-cylinder petrol. Those will eventually be joined by AMG-derived GLC 43 and GLC 63 performance variants, along with a clever plug-in petrol hybrid. The GLC 250 driven here offers up 155 kilowatts and 350 newton meters from a 2-litre 4-cylinder engine, and is positioned as the entry-level petrol derivative. Now the engine for a 4-cylinder pulls away really smoothly off the line and it's quite effortless, almost akin to the way a big traditional V6 would work. That's partly down to the effectiveness of this 9-speed automatic transmission. It's really smooth in its shifts. It's not quite as razor sharp as some rivals, but it does a really good job in daily conveyance and in the sporty stuff alike. Now when you do choose to wick it up a little, I've got to be honest, it's not the fastest thing out on the road. 0 to 100 in the mid 7-second sort of mark. And you do notice that this car's weight is fairly evident, but I'll tell you what, it's still a pretty competent machine nonetheless. It's a similar story with the 9-speed auto. While it does do a really good job in that daily sort of driving, it's not quite as sharp or as intuitive as what you'd probably like. And I think Mercedes will obviously point you to their sportier sort of variants if that's what you're really after. But all in all, the body control is really tidy, the steering's quite good, there's a fair bit of feedback coming through. The car we're driving at the moment actually has staggered wheel widths, wearing Michelin tyres front and rear. Now if you do push it into a corner quite hard, you will notice a little bit of understeer in the front where the front wheels scrub a little bit wide, but the car does feel very tidy. As for the ride, well, we're in cars with adaptive dampers at the moment. All in all though, there is a firm sporty bias, but the ride does settle fairly quickly after bumps in the road, and even mid-corner bumps haven't shaken up the cabin too much. In this segment of coupe SUVs, the GLC has a distinct character of its own. It subscribes to classic Benz road dynamics with a smooth and luxurious ride, enhanced by a real sense of occasion inside the cabin. As for the rest of the package, look, it is very Mercedes-Benz. The cabin's a really nice place of refinement out on the road. Road noise is really nicely insulated, there's no squeaks or rattles. This is definitely a luxury SUV. As for whether it's as good as its rivals in a luxury sense, well, time will tell. But in a sporty sense at least, this thing doesn't quite feel as sharp as something like the Porsche Macan. You do notice its weight through the corners, and the steering sort of lacks that same level of bite that you'll get from like-minded rivals. The GLC Coupe's internals are special to say the least, with a mix of quality trims and materials that feel well put together. Ultimately, its boot space is compromised by the car's design, though with split folding seats and 491 litres of luggage space to play with, it's hardly impractical. Now for some buyers, this could be the make or break space on the GLC Coupe, the rear seat. I've got to be honest though, there's actually quite a bit of room inside. The headspace is moderate, you'd certainly fit 2 6-foot adults on decent journeys. There's a good array of storage, deep door pockets, these sleeves here behind the seats. There's even a flip down centre armrest. I think it's definitely more inviting than its roofline may suggest. There's no doubting that the GLC Coupe is more than just a styling exercise. It does successfully blend sports car, luxury car and SUV. Will it be the best in its segment? Well, only time will tell, but one thing is for sure, this car has a very distinct character of its own.